Special thanks to Patreon supporter The Grand Pope for making this tutorial possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft World War II BAFTA build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building a ship that you've probably never heard of. I'm almost willing to bet money on it. This is going to be the USS Wolverine IX-64. The USS Wolverine IX-64 was a training ship used by the United States Navy during World War II. She was originally named C&B and was built as a Great Lakes luxury sidewheel steamer, cruise ship for the Cleveland and Buffalo Transit Company. C&B was launched on November 9th, 1912 and was normally used on the Cleveland, Ohio to Buffalo, New York route, with special cruises to other ports. After the original owners went bankrupt in 1939, C&B was purchased by Chicago-based C&B Transit Company and continued operating until 1941. C&B was acquired by the United States Navy in 1942 and was quickly converted into a freshwater aircraft carrier for the advanced training of naval aviators in carrier takeoff and landings. Renamed USS Wolverine, she was not equipped with armor, a hangar deck, elevators, or armaments. As a genuine flat-top, Wolverine was shorter, and her flight deck was closer to the water than many of the fighting aircraft carriers of the day. Unsuited for combat, she was highly functional in her pilot training mission. The first aircraft landings on USS Wolverine occurred during September of 1942. From 1943 until the end of the war, in 1945, USS Wolverine, along with her sister ship USS Sable, was used for the training of 17,000 pilots, landing signal officers, and other Navy personnel with minimal losses. Following the end of World War II, the Navy decommissioned Wolverine on November 7, 1945, and she was sold for scrap in December of 1947. The USS Wolverine here is one of those ships that really is kind of an unsung hero. The success in the Pacific theater, especially, and even the European theater for the United States naval aviators was all beginning from the training that they received from landing on this ship or the sister ship USS Sable. These are the kind of ships that you really don't hear too much about, and I think deserve a lot more credit in the fact that you wouldn't have had the successful ships that you had during World War II without the proper training that it took to train the crew and to be able to partake in those missions and to basically execute the mission to their fullest capabilities that they've learned training in on these type of vessels. And the USS Wolverine here just is a fun ship. Really it is. It's one of those interesting ships that you're going to look at, you'll be like, well, that's odd. But it's cool. It's definitely something unique and something fun to put on your world. This isn't going to be a ship that you're going to see in some kind of convoys in the Pacific or anything like that. This is really just strictly a training ship that you would probably have basically in a lake. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, considering that this was just a Great Lakes-based of ship. Before we go and jump in and take a look at the build, I do want to go and give special thanks to Patreon supporter The Grand Pope for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and put a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a vehicle request of your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, links are always going to be in the video description for that. Anyways, though, with that, let's go ahead and move in here to take a look at the USS Wolverine IX-64. So, starting off with, we have the ship here. As you can see, it sits super low to the water, which is in line with basically the ship, pretty much what it was supposed to be. One of the main details you're going to see here is that there's no propellers. It is actually completely a paddle wheel steamer, and the paddle wheels are located on both sides of the ship, around in the mid-deck section. So that's going to be one of those things that's super unique and going to really make this ship stand out compared to other aircraft carriers and all that stuff of the war. This ship is, you can tell, really just kind of, slapped on the flight deck, I guess. It has a lot of scaffolding, a lot of supports and stuff like that just exposed right along the side here just to give some reinforcement to the flight deck that's put on top of the ship. And that's really what you have here, just a bunch of giant scaffolding designs and all that stuff kind of running all the way along the ship here. It's pretty cool. It does give a cool effect and does look pretty nice for the ship. Definitely looks more kind of put or kind of modified or, jerry-rigged compared to, actual warfare carriers. And then the conning tower here, pretty simple, just some basic communication equipment, some smokestacks, and that's really about it. Overall, pretty cool ship, one that's going to be kind of a fun one to build and one to kind of commemorate the service of these training ships and the huge impact that they had on the war effort that most people don't really even know about. Without further ado, though, let's go and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we're going to be going ahead and starting off with layer 1. Now for the first few layers of this aircraft carrier, we're going to be going ahead and basically doing a half on, half off tutorial. So this is going to mean we're going to build the center line of the ship, and then the entire right side will be up to you guys to take the right side, copy it over to the left side. For the most part, this ship is symmetrical in the whole section. Obviously, the one difference being really the conning tower. Other than that, though, it's going to be pretty straightforward and simple build to go ahead and proceed through. But basically, to make sure we build this layer right, we want to make sure that we build this with the water level. So you can see the blue concrete here representing our water level, and you can see we have basically the red portion, which is the draft of your ship, basically equal with that level of water. Very important to make sure that's correct, because if you're putting this in the water, which I imagine most of you guys will, it's going to sit weird if you do not have it properly positioned in the water. So just make sure that's good to go. And once you're settled with that, we can go ahead and get started here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a red stained glass pane, 2 brick walls, and then we want to go ahead and then grab ourselves red concrete, and we're going to place down a long row of red concrete that's going to go all the way back toward the rear of the ship, a total of 21 blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down a brick upside stair, a brick top slab, a red concrete block, and then a red stained glass pane to go ahead and finish off the back there. Next row, we're going to go ahead and go back up to the front of the ship. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and on our 4th red stained glass block, or red concrete block, we're going to place down a red stained glass pane at the side, 1 more pane back, and then 1, 2, 3 brick walls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red concrete, 1, 2, 3 brick walls, and 1, 2 red stained glass panes. After that, we want to go ahead and take our polished black stone. We're going to place down 2 upside down stairs next to these 2 blocks here, so it's going to be the 4th and 5th red concrete blocks in this row here. And then coming off those to the side, we're going to place down an acacia wood fence post, and then we also want to place down an end rod, like so, on the sides there of that will be the paddle wheel there. And once you have that all done, take a look at it from above. This is what it should look like for the top-down view. Pretty straightforward and simple. And with that, we'll be going ahead and move on to our next layer, layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to get started with, here, we're going to place down an inside wall on top of this red stained glass pane, and then another inside wall back from that. We then want to take our stone blocks. We're going to place down a long row of stone blocks going back, and then a stone upside down stair here on the back. Once we have that done, going back up here to the front, we want to take our polished black stone buttons, place down 1, 2, 3 buttons along the side here, 1, 2, 3 light gray stained glass panes, 2 inside walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stone blocks back, 1, 2, 3 inside walls, 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes. After that's all done there, we want to go and then take our levers. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 levers like this across the side, then a stone top slab, 1 and 2 light gray shortcut boxes, and then another stone top slab right here to the side. We're going to go and then grab ourselves levers. We're going to place down levers on these 2 shortcut boxes, and we're going to go ahead and flick these so they face downwards like so. We also want to place down 2 levers on these 2 stone blocks, just like that. After that's all done, that right there is going to basically do it. You're going to take the same thing on the right side there, copy it over to the left side. And actually, one thing also to cover is on the back here, we do also want to place down some polished black stone buttons along those 3 stone blocks down the center. And with that all done, that right there is going to complete what we have there for layer number 2. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 3. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this wall right here. Then we're going to go ahead and then take our stone blocks. We're going to go ahead and go back from this wall, a total of 25 blocks. And then we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone top slab on the back here. We're going to then place down 1, 2, 3 birchwood fence gates, and we're going to have these fence gates all opened up toward that stone top slab. After that's done, going back up to the front here, we're going to then go off of this fence gate out to the side 1 and 2 birchwood fence gates, and we're going to go and open them toward the center like so. And also on the end there, we're going to place down a skeleton skull like so. We're going to go then place down a stone brick upside down stair. Then we're going to go and place down another birchwood fence gate, and we're going to have this opened up toward the middle there as well of the ship. After that's done, we want to go ahead and then place down a birchwood fence gate here, and then a second one. We're going to open those toward the center there. Then another stone brick upside down stair, and another birchwood fence gate also opened up toward the center there. We want to go ahead and then grab ourselves some item frames and some white beds, as well as some dark oak wood signs. We're going to place down 2 item frames here on the sides, white beds in those item frames. And if you're on Java, we'll go ahead and do the extra detail here of placing a dark oak wood sign on the side there of those fence gates. If you're not on Java, you will not be able to do this feature of placing the signs and item frames in the same block space. If that's the case, just go ahead and place down the item frames and disregard the signs. Continuing on, we're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes, then 1, 2, 3 andesite walls. We're going to go ahead and place down a stone block. Then after that, 1 and 2 daylight detectors, turn those to night mode. 2 light gray stained glass panes, an andesite wall, 2 stone blocks, andesite wall, light gray stained glass pane, 1 and 2 daylight detectors, and turn these to night mode. Then 1 and 2 stone blocks, 2 andesite walls, light gray stained glass pane, and then a stone brick upside down stair. We then, after this, are going to go ahead and start working our way out to the sides again. We're going to place down 2 birchwood fence gates here, open them up toward the center, and we're going to go then place down skeleton skulls come off those fence gates. We then want to place down 1 and 2 fence gates here, open those toward the center here as well. Then we're going to then place down another set of 2 fence gates, open up toward the center. We're going to place down item frames on the ends there of those fence gates, and we're going to go then place down white beds in those item frames, like so, rotated sideways, and then dark oak signs on the side of the fence gates. We're going to go then place down 2 fence gates again, open up toward the center, another 2, open up toward the center. Again, 2 fence gates, open to the center, 2 fence gates again, followed by another 2 fence gates, then another 2, like so. And then at this point here, we're going to go then place down a daylight detector, turn this to night mode right here, make sure that fence gate stays open. Then we're going to place down 2 stone full blocks, or actually, rather, it's going to be 2 stone slabs instead. And then another daylight detector like this right here. We're also going to go and take our item frames. We're going to place down 2 item frames right here if you're on Java. Again, this will be kind of for Java only. And we're going to place down gray beds in those item frames like so. After that, we're just going to go and then place down 1 and 2 fence gates in front there of the item frames. We're going to go ahead and open them up toward the center there. Again, that will be a Java only feature. If you're not on Java, just place down the fence gates and disregard the item frames. We're going to go then place down 1 and 2 more birchwood fence gates back. Again, we're going to have those opened up. We then want to place down 1 and 2 fence gates here. Open those up. 1 and 2 again. Opened up. 1 and 2. Open. 1 and 2 open. 1 and 2 open. 1 and 2 open. 1 and 2 open. Just like that. 1 and 2 open. 1 and 2 open. And 1, 2, 3. Like that. And then 1, 2. Open. And then 1, 2 again. Open. And then we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 skeleton skulls on those 2. And then we just want to place down 2 more rows of 2. Like this going back to go ahead and complete our scaffolding there for the ship. And as you can see, it's kind of weird looking with this just kind of set up the way it is. But that right there is going to basically complete this layer. You'll take off, you see what we did on the right side and flip it over to the left side, and this is what it should look like for the top-down view for the ship. Anyways, though, that is going to conclude everything there is for layer number 3, and with that, we'll be going ahead and jumping into layer number 4. Alright guys, so moving into our next layer, we have layer 4. Layer 4 is going to be the layer that we kind of do all together as we start to get into the asymmetrical parts of it. Anyways, to get started with here, we want to go ahead and begin with by placing down a white carpet up here in the front. We're going to go ahead and place down gray carpet, white, gray, white, gray. And this is going to be an alternating pattern that's going to go all the way down the center of your ship. So we're just going to go ahead and continue this pattern all the way down the center here of the ship. And you'll come all the way back to this point, and you'll end right on top of that last fence gate. At this point in time, we're going to then go to the sides here of that row, and we just want to go ahead and very simply take our carpets, and again, we're just going to place down our gray carpet, and this is going to be a row of gray carpet running all the way along the side here of that row of white carpet. And the same thing will be done on the other side. And once we have that done, we have our 3 center lines done. We're going to go ahead and continue to expand out to the side. We're going to place down yellow carpet, then gray carpet, then yellow carpet, then gray carpet. And we're going to have this alternating pattern. That's going to go all the way down the sides here of our previous rows in the middle. And just like that, we have our kind of deck markings done for the most part. At this point in time, we want to go then grab our gray carpet. We're going to go and go to the left side here of the ship, and we're just going to go and go to the tops here of these fence gates all the way along the side, and we're just going to go and place down our fence gates, or our gray carpet on top of them. So like that. And then after that, over here on the right side, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to place down a 1 gray carpet right here. We then want to go ahead and grab a andesite wall. We're going to place down an andesite wall here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 stone blocks back, and then we're just going to go ahead and resume with our gray carpet. And it's going to go ahead and continue around all the way down the remaining length here of the side to go ahead and make our deck. Now once that's done, we also want to go and grab polished black stone buttons. We're going to place down 2 buttons on these first blocks here. And we also want to go and grab a birchwood fence gate and some end rods. We're going to place down a fence gate that'll be on top of this skeleton skull here and open that up toward the middle of the ship. Then we're just going to place down 2 end rods on top of it. And also we're going to go and go to this skeleton skull here, place down a fence gate, open it toward the center, and then 2 end rods up. And over here on this skeleton skull as well, the same thing. Just like that. And once you have that all done, we're going to go ahead and now move into our final layers, which will be basically just building up the conning tower. So with that, that's everything we have there for layer 4, and with that, let's move on to our final layers. Alright guys, so moving into our final layers, we have layers 5 through 9. For these layers, we're going to go and go into our conning tower and place down a stone brick slab on top of this andesite wall. We're going to go ahead and place down item frames around these 3 sides. In the item frame facing toward the front, we're going to place down a block of black concrete, and then to the sides here, we're going to place down black beds rotated so that the pillow is facing toward the front of the ship like so. Same thing over here. After that, if you're on Java, we can go ahead and take dark oak signs and just wrap them around the sides here of that slab as well. Again, that'll be a Java only feature. We're going to go then place down 1, 2, 3, 4 andesite walls back. Going on top of this slab here, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate and open this toward the rear of the ship. And then a second fence gate on top of that, again, also open up toward the rear. We're going to place down an end rod on both sides of this fence gate like so. And we also want to go ahead and go to this andesite wall here and we're going to place down a end rod to both sides of that wall as well. Now on the very top here, we're going to place down a iron bar. And if you're on Java, we can go ahead and kind of do something a little bit more interesting with this. And this is going to be going ahead and typing in the command /give space @p Minecraft debug _ stick. And by pressing enter, we'll get this stick. And this is again going to be only for Java. We'll go up to this iron bar here. We're going to go left click until we get our directions, and it may take some playing around with, but once you find the direction and it should say false, you can go ahead and right click it to set it to true. And we're going to go left click until we just kind of find directions, and for me it's going to be east and west. I'm just going to extend to true, and you can see the iron bar extends out to the sides there and kind of fills in that space a little bit more properly. And just kind of a nice way to make this look a little bit more interesting. Then after that, we want to go and then grab ourselves some barrier blocks. We're going to place down a barrier block coming off of this fence gate here. And then also this this one mast right here, we're actually going to go ahead and move 1 forward, like so. So I'm just going to go and adjust this 1 more block forward. And we want to go and then delete the previous mast, and then we're going to go and then place down a barrier block coming off this end rod, like so. And then taking stone buttons, we can go and very simply just do a little bit of cabling here for the mast by just placing down 2 stone buttons there on the side there, like so. After that, going ahead and continuing on, we want to go ahead and take our cobwebs. We're going to place down 2 cobwebs going up this second wall like so. Then an end rod, and on top of that end rod, we're going to place down a skeleton skull. Lastly, we're going to go and grab some polished some wither skeleton skulls. And we're going to place down 1 on top of this wall here. And then we're going to place down 2 on top of these 2 walls going back like that for our conning tower. And with that all complete, that's going to basically wrap up my tutorial here for the USS Wolverine IX-64 train ship. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from a sound the build, link to my channel, or this video if this doesn't bring social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter the Grand Pope for making this tutorial possible. And as always, don't forget to check out my Patreon page if you are interested. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Guaranteed with 4, and I'll see you guys next time.